Welcome to this short webinar on the New York Physical Therapy Continuing Education Requirements. My name is Zachary Edgar. My company is called Therapy Comply. That is a membership-based compliance firm dedicated to assisting physical, occupational, and speech therapy practices and facilities. Members can access a wide selection of guides, sample policies, and forms on Medicare, Medicaid, HIPAA, TRICARE, and state laws and regulations that apply to therapy practices. Members can also email me at any time with any compliance or billing questions or schedule a phone call. Please visit the website at therapycomply.com for more information. It is for informational purposes only. None of the material is intended as legal advice. Statutes and regulations are all subject to change. In the description to see our complete guide on the New York Physical Therapy CE requirements. PTAs licensed in New York are required to complete 36 hours of continuing education every 3 years. For this period, the number of hours necessary are prorated at 1/2 hour per month. So calculate the number of months from receiving your license to the expiration date. Each month adds 30 minutes to the total required renewal. Physical therapy does not have any specific course requirements. The department will deem approved as a sponsor of continuing education to license PTs or PTAs in the form of courses of learning or self-study programs. These organizations include a National Physical Therapy Organization or other professional organization acceptable to the department that fosters good practice in the physical therapy professions in the nation as a whole and/or region of the nation. A New York State Physical Therapy Organization acceptable to the department that is incorporated or otherwise organized in New York State that fosters good practice in the physical therapy professions in the state of New York as a whole and/or region of the state, and a national organization of jurisdictional boards of physical therapy that promotes and protects the health, safety, and welfare of the public and fosters good practice in the physical therapy professions, an entity, hospital, or health facility defined in Section 2801 of the Public Health Law, and a higher education institution. Acceptable continuing education shall be courses of learning offered by a sponsor approved by the department, which may include, among others, courses offered by an approved sponsor, university, and college credit and non-credit courses, and professional development and technical sessions related to the practice of physical therapy. One contact hour is at least 50 minutes. Full completion of a credit-bearing course at a higher education institution must be in an approved subject area. 15 continuing education hours per course credit at a 3-credit course equals 45 continuing education hours. Teaching a course offered by a sponsor of continuing education to PTs and PTAs approved, provided that such teaching shall not be acceptable if the licensee has taught the course on more than one occasion without presenting new or revised material. For every in-class contact hour, 2 hours of continuing education may be rewarded. This includes the 2-hour preparation time. Preparing and teaching a course at a higher education institution relating to the practice of physical therapy, provided that such teaching shall not be acceptable where the licensee has taught the course on more than one occasion without presenting new or revised material. For every in-class contact hour, 2 hours of continuing education may be rewarded. This includes the 2-hour preparation time. Technical presentation at a professional conference sponsored by an organization that is a sponsor of continuing education to PTs and PTAs and that is approved, provided that such presentation shall not be acceptable where the licensee is presented on the topic on more than one occasion without presenting new or revised material. For every in-class contact hour, 2 hours of continuing education may be rewarded. This includes 2-hour preparation time. Achieving a specialty certification or recertification from an entity acceptable to the department, 10 hours of continuing education for the initial certification, and 5 hours for recertification. Study program, meaning a structured study provided by a sponsor approved that is based on an audiovisual, written, online, and other media. It does not include live instruction transmitted in person or otherwise, during which the student may communicate and interact with the instructor and other students. One contact hour is at least 50 minutes. In an article published in a peer-reviewed journal or published book, Writing an article published in a peer-reviewed journal book equals 15 continuing education hours. Authoring a chapter in a published book equals 15 continuing education hours per chapter. And editing a multiple author published book equals 15 hours of continuing education. Receiving a passing score on an examination approved by the department that demonstrates the licensee's knowledge of the laws, rules, and regulations of New York relating to the practice of physical therapy. 2 hours of continuing education credit shall be rewarded for receiving a passing score on the exam. Credit will be granted only for courses that include AED instruction. Certification must be given by the American Heart Association or the American Red Cross. This equals 2 hours of continuing education. Allowed are any courses not approved by a board-approved sponsor. Any continuing education designed for the sole purpose of maximizing profits for the practice of PT or PTA shall not be considered by the department as acceptable. PTs and PTAs will be required to attest on your registration renewal document that you completed the required continuing education courses. Each licensee shall maintain or ensure access by the department to a record of completed continuing education, which includes the title of the course, if it's a course, a type of educational activity, the subject of the continuing education, the number of hours of continuing education completed, the sponsor's name and an identifying number, attendance verification if a course, participation verification if another educational activity, a copy of any article or book for which continuing education credit is claimed with proof of publication, and the date and the location of the continuing education. Records shall be retained for at least 6 years from the date of completion of the course or activity. For watching, and please visit the website for more information and consider joining today.